Today on In the Widget, we're talking about how to fix a chain when you throw it and it won't go back on your bar. Here we go. So the other day I was cutting at my dad's property. My brother and I were cutting a whole bunch of ash trees, and I was cutting some, limbs, and I was doing some cutting of some of the bigger chunks. And I think I threw my chain maybe 3 times in 4 days, like once a day. It seems like I throw the chain. A lot of times it's my own fault because once in a while I'm not paying attention and the chain is loose and you go to make a sideways cut in some brush and it'll take it and it'll throw it. Or sometimes if you're cutting a big chunk of a tree and you cut from the top, and as this closes in and put a wedge in, you cut from the bottom. Well, sometimes when those two pieces separate, they shear apart from each other, you can throw your chain that way. It happens, it's pretty common. But usually it's brush that'll get you. So on my main saw that I like to run, which is this one right here, this is my Husqvarna 572 XPG. Actually, I really like my 592, but this G is heated handles, and I love it when it's below zero like it has been. We've been around below zero now for like a week, and it's supposed to stay like that for a couple weeks. So this is the saw I prefer to run, at least, in the morning, and then maybe run another saw, and then when my hands get cold, I do use little hand warmer packets in my gloves, and then I'll grab another saw, run it till it's dull, and then I'll grab this one and sharpen it up and go back. So I go back and forth. But this one will get so hot, even if it's zero, that you have to turn the heat off. It gets that warm that you can't hang on. It gets too hot, which I love, because you can turn it on, let your hands warm up, turn it off. You notice your hands cooling off, turn it back on. But what happened is I threw the chain with this one, and I think I maybe had another hour or so to cut of daylight. So I just set the saw down. No sense fighting it out there in the cold trying to get the chain back on. Because I tried and it wouldn't go because there was burrs on the guides, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like. So when you're cutting and you throw a chain, it'll come off and it'll just sit there, and the chain will just hang there in the sprocket. It'll just kind of keep running. But what happens is as it falls off, depending on how the branches you're cutting, or the brush, or if the log shears it, your chain can actually get slightly bent. It can actually get a bend in it, like a kink. This one's not too bad. I noticed looking at it, it looks pretty good. It's got a little kink in one spot, and you can straighten it out by actually bending it a little bit. You can get it straight so that it'll work. But what happens a lot of times is the actual guides right here that runs in the bar, this part right here, these are the guides on the bottom. At least that's what I call them, guides. That's where your chain will ride in your bar. I'll show you that. Here's the bar I was using. Nothing special, it's just a Husqvarna light bar. But as I put this on, the guides drop into your rail like this. Most guys know this, but if you don't, this is where your saw chain will ride in here, and it goes around on the sprocket like this. Well, what happens, I'm going to spin this around, see if I can get to the spot, because I know there's a spot on here. Right here, it's catching right here. So there's a burr right there. See if I can find another one right here. There's another one right here. See, and it won't even slide down into the rail right here on the bar. It won't go down in there because these little tips right here have burrs on them. They're right there. I can feel it with my thumb right there. I can feel the burr. Sometimes you can see them, sometimes you can't. Usually, well, there's another one right here. Here's another one, won't go in. So there's going to be probably 5 or 6 that it won't go in. Now, this is a fairly new bar. From what I remember, I might have sharpened it once, twice at the most. So I don't want to just chuck it. And there's an easy way to fix it. Some people, like professional loggers, a lot of times they don't want to mess with it. They just chuck it and grab the next chain or the next saw, which I do, but I save the chain, especially if it's a new one. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the same tool I use for sharpening my teeth. I use either an ease-do or a Dremel. These are the battery operated ones that I have. My Dremel is an 8 volt and this ease-do is a 12 volt. 12 volt's way better. So if you're going to get a battery operated one, get the 12 volt. Now, I don't really like using these unless I'm sharpening the processor, because it's nice to be able to reach in without a battery pack and your cords and stuff like that. And I'm sharpening 404 chain on the processor, and for a file, it's terrible. It's no fun at all using a file. It's just way too hard. It's very hard steel. It's a bigger size chain, harder to sharpen by far, and it's a much longer chain. If I remember correctly, there might be like 100. No, there's not 100. If I remember correctly, there's like 60 some teeth, 68 maybe, whereas on a 24-inch bar like you see right here, I think it's 42, but I think on the processor it's like 48, something like that. Something like 68, something like that. And this will work, but I only get a couple sharpenings out of these, and then the battery's dead. I can recharge the battery, but when you're out in the woods, it's kind of nice just to grab it and sharpen once or twice, and then it's done. What I prefer to use is the corded version. Much more powerful, more speed on your bits, and it just seems to work better. Now, when I'm on location, I do have an outlet in my truck in the back end, so I can turn my truck on, and I can sharpen right in the back of the truck with the truck battery. But I've got battery packs. From those of you guys who have been around a long time, you know that companies send me these battery packs. I've got 7 or 8 different ones. I've got them all the way up to 3,600, all the way down to, I think, a couple of 800s, maybe 1,000, a 1,200, a 1,500. I think I got a 2,400. I got a whole bunch of them. I gave one to each of my brothers. Adam uses one all the time, and I've got a couple small ones. I keep one in my truck all the time. I got one here. I've got one at home, and then I got a big one in my camper and then a big one here. So I use them a lot. It's just a portable battery pack, and the prices on them have come way down. Everybody's competing to try to get the market now. They work great. So I will plug this in to one of the battery packs, set it on the tailgate, and I put the chainsaw in my board, my sled for sharpening, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. But when you throw a chain, you're not going to be able to get your runners or your guides, these into your bar and into the slot. So I'm going to show you how I grind them now. Basically what I do is I find the tooth, and then I take it out and I just hold on to it. I have my Dremel or my Ease-Do running. I wear glasses, ear protection. I wear cheaters, even though my close vision is pretty good, because my far vision isn't as good. So my close vision, my nearsighted, is pretty good. And I'll just do one tooth at a time. I'll sharpen it, not sharpen it. What I do is I work on taking that burr off, and then I test it to see if it'll drop in. Once I get one done, I go to the next one, the next one, the next one. And once I kind of go around the whole bar, and I know that I think I've got them done, I'll put the bar back on. Now some guys will force this onto their saw, and then they start their saw up and they just run it. They just force it to go. Sometimes you can get it to go by rubbing back and forth on a stump or something. You can get the teeth to drop in there, but then you're putting excessive wear and tear on your bar and your chain, and the guides where the chain runs in, where the guides run into the top of the bar rail, you're going to wear that prematurely. It's good just to take those burrs off. It doesn't take much, usually 5 minutes of just kind of grinding those edges off, and you can have it to where you got a perfectly good chain again. So that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, so I'm going to put my safety glasses on. I am going to wear gloves. I got 2 that don't match, but that's okay. They're welder's gloves, and I like these because they have real heavy leather. They were good for working on saws because I cut my hands. I just cut my finger just the other day. I cut the tip of it. I'm going to put some earplugs in here. I just reuse these all the time because it's kind of a high-pitched sound. I wear earmuffs occasionally when I'm doing this, but today I'm just going to put in earplugs, which will be adequate. Okay, so it's plugged in. Here you can see I got juice. Now I'm going to show you this too. I save all of my bits once I'm done using them, once they wear down to an hourglass shape from sharpening my teeth. I save these because I can use these for this exact purpose. I can use them to take those burrs off, or if I got something small I need to grind a little bit, but this is what they look like when they're brand new. If you guys can see the difference in the shape there, it starts to be an hourglass. You usually get about 3 to 4 sharpenings. If it's just a touch-up, you might get 5 sharpenings, maybe 6. Or sometimes I will save these little ones when they get small like this, and I'll use these on my 325 chain, which is a smaller diameter. It's the 5 30-seconds instead of 7 30-seconds, which is what these are, because this is my 3/8. 7 30-seconds is what I use these for all the time. Now you can get these different stores. It's Oregon sharpening stone. It's specifically what these are for, is for sharpening, and I'll show you that. These work great, and they're much faster and easier than using a file. I'll show you that. And you get a pack of these. I get mine at a store called Fleet Farm. You can get them for about $7. I think $6.99. I just grabbed 3 of these just the other day. They come in a 3-pack like this. Like I said, it's so much faster than the file. I carry a hand file with me when I'm in the woods if I need to touch something up. I've got a whole dozen box I keep in my kit if I need them. But if I'm in the woods, I'm not going to carry this, obviously. I carry the file just in case. But if I usually get a dull saw, I just grab the next saw, set it down, grab the next saw. Once that one's done, grab the next saw. I go through 3, 4, 5 saws, and I sharpen them later at the end of the day, or if I need to take a break, do them all at once, and I can sharpen them really fast. So that's just the way I do it. I don't want to spend time in the woods sharpening. So there's that. Okay, I'm going to put some gloves on here. I'll put this up here. Here's my sled back here that's got the vise on it. So I'll put these gloves on, and then I will show you quickly how to do this. Okay, so it looks like we got burrs right here. So this one right here I can see is not in. I don't know if you guys can see that. So that's the one we're going to start with. So all I'm going to do is just kind of grind the edges of them off. Come over here. Whoopsie. All you do is just hit this edge right here. And I'm not taking much off. It's usually just a small burr. So let's see. Let's see if that's got it. It looks like it already fell in. It's better. Yeah, all these got they got little burrs on them. They're not much. This one does too right here. So from here down, I can see they're dropping in. This is the first one right here. So I'm going to work on that one right now. And usually, once I find it, I'll take the chain out and I can sharpen from either side. I'll go like this. I find it right there. It is. Grab a hold of it. I'll take it off the bar. Let me get untangled here. Then I'll lay it down horizontally like this, and I know which one I've got here. So just turn this on. With my cheaters, I can actually see the burrs. Again, it's not much. And the main thing is you get the little burrs that are sticking out, prevent it from going in. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, you just want it to be functional, and it's not going to hurt it. There's a little burr there I can see. So I'm going to go continue from there on, just taking these little bits of burrs off here. Yeah, I can see a little bit on each one of these. Some of these will probably drop in. It just depends how bad they're. But again, I'm doing both sides. So you consider the left and the right. There's one right here. I can see he's got a big nick out of it. And I don't have a real close-up camera right now, so it's probably almost impossible for you guys to see, to get the general idea. And it doesn't have, like I say, you don't have to be, it's not like you're machining a fine piece of equipment that's going in a automobile. I'm going to take those burrs off is all I'm doing. And I've done a grinder I've used a couple times. You turn the chain inside out. You can do, oh, here's one that's got all kinds of burrs on it. Usually it's in the same section all the time where it'll catch. So again, I'm just kind of looking to see. There's another one. Yeah, it actually looks like I got most of them. I'll try it. So I'll turn this off, the noisemaker, and then we're gonna drop this in. And again, on the vise is always the easiest way to do this. Let's see what kind of results we have here. I'm guessing there's going to be a few more yet. Yeah, that's not bad, actually. So as I do this, they should just stay right down. It should come around. And if you get it where it's just kind of catching it a little bit, it's usually good enough that you can put it on your saw. And you can run it and just crank it up, get that bar going around. It'll get in the groove. I think I might have got it. Going around and around here to make sure. Right there I can see one. Right there's a little catch right on this end right here. That's not bad. Right here's one right here. See, I don't know if you can see, but it's sticking up just a smidge there. Or a scotch. Smudge. Just a little bit. So I'm going to grind on this one just a little bit. Do the one next to it. Again, just on the sides of it is all I'm getting. Let's see if it drops in okay. Seems to be this one right here is catching, right? It's not bad though. Let's see if I do this, it'll be easier. Here we go. This one right here is catching. This little bugger right here. This one. I'm looking for him to catch right in here. This is where I can see it. Looks like we're good. It's a work of art. That's it. That's a pretty easy one. So there we go. I'll take this out of the vise. And then we can make sure it's on the right way. We're going to put this on the saw. Okay, so here's the saw on its side. We're going to drop the bar in, get the chain onto the sprocket. And then most of the new saws have keeper nuts on there, which is kind of nice. But if you put a new chain on, those of you that do this a lot, you know what matters. And that is your tensioner. You got to get it in that slot. And I think I got to back this off a bit here. Look down inside of it. Yeah, I got to go back about a half an inch. And then we're going to tighten it up. So here it dropped in. And now I can tighten and tighten. Make sure the chain is in. I get it just snug. And then I hold it. Again, I just do this on its side. And we'll tighten down the nuts, bar nuts here. And I'm just going to get them snug, not tight. Because I want to tighten it up to what my preference is for the sharpening. And I'll look down inside, make sure I'm still in the sprocket, because I can fall off on you. Give the saw a little wiggle here to get some room. Again, I'm just going to get this just a little snug. And then I can tension this. That's too snug. You want just the right amount. And I can tension this to get it to where I want it. And I can tell just by feeling generally. It's just a little too tight. We'll back that off just a smidge. A little more. A little more. That's pretty good, and I'll tighten it down. I know a lot of guys say, oh, you got to lay it down. You got to put the tip of the bar down. I've done this so many times. I just know by feel how to do it. So I'll do that. And then the next thing I do is I lay the saw down. I'll back you guys out a little bit. Make sure the brake is off. And then I give it a spin here. Oh, see, it fell right out. Oh, dang it. So that does happen. So what I do, the sprocket must have spun off the back of the sprocket. Nope, we're good. It's in there. I just moved it, so I'm going to loosen this up. It must have been off the sprocket slightly. And now we can tighten it up. You'll watch how this will tighten up on the bottom here now. As I turn this, you'll see the chain tighten up. And then I'll get it to where I want it, which is about a nickel's worth right about there. And then we'll tighten it down. And then I'll check it again. And this is why I wear gloves, because a lot of times I've gone down and I hit my hand on the teeth and I've taken my knuckles right down to the bone. Because the wrench will slip off, or you just see your hand does. Okay, tension-wise, that's about where I like it. Looks good, and I think we're going to be ready to sharpen it up now. So now I'll grab my sled. I'll put that up here. So this is the sled I have with a little vise on it. And I'm going to put this to the back, like this. And for those of you that don't sharpen your own chains, you should learn. It's not that hard. Filing is much harder to learn than the Dremel. like I use. If you don't know how to sharpen, get yourself a Dremel or an ease-do. It's 10 times easier than filing. And filing is something that a lot of guys are very good at. I'm just okay. But the Dremel is a piece of cake. I'll show you right now. So now I am going to sharpen. I'm going to change this bit out. We're going to put a brand new one on because the one that's on there is kind of wore down. So I'm going to open this up and take one bit out. Usually I just leave it in a pack like this and I just pop them out. So I take them out one at a time. And again, you can get these a lot of places. Anybody that carries Oregon stuff will be able to get them for you. They might have to order them. But we'll take this bit out. I find if I give it just a little tap here, I can get it looser easier. There we go. Come on out of there. There we go. So the bit's out. I'll put the new one in. And again, we'll tighten this down. They got a little tool, but I just used this pliers I got, so you can see the difference on those, how much this one's wore down. Like I said, I use this quite a bit, but that's how they look brand new, which is what you want. And we're going to sharpen this. Now, I already did mark a tooth right here. It's right where the link is, where it's got the silver link. A lot of chains will have a gold or a brass link. This one's got a silver one. So here we go. I got my earplugs in, glasses are on, and yes, I can see this is dull by looking, but here we go. This is how fast I can sharpen. Tighten this down. And the teeth do not get hot. I mean, they get warm, and that's about it. And I'm just getting that top plate to have a nice straight line and getting the tip to be pointed. And I don't use a guide. I just go by the witness marks there on the back. If I'm off a degree, I don't think I'm going to get arrested because I just want to cut more. I want it to be sharp, but I don't have to get ridiculous. I know some guys will use a micrometer to get the teeth all the same. That doesn't matter. Now, I did take the rakers down on this the last time I sharpened. So I don't know if you guys can tell. Oh, there's a rounded one. The whole tip is gone on this one. There we go. That would have taken a minute filing. Oh, here's another one this way. I must have hit a nail or something. There, I just took off a whole bunch on that one. But it's sharp now. And I do face the front of the bar like this. I do both sides at the same time. And it just seems to be easy. There's a bad tooth. Yeah, it's good. There's another tip gone on that one. Like I said, I'm not taking the temper out. I don't have teeth that get brittle and break. It never happens. That was 42 teeth, so that one's really bad. There, that was 42 teeth. Whoop, I'm getting caught here. And it is cat claw sharp. Ready to kill trees. I got 2 more to sharpen, so that was done. Ready to rock and roll for tomorrow. And I do run 24-inch bars primarily on my saws. This is a 562, and this chain is just about shot. This will probably be the last sharpening I do for it. So I'm going to grab my marker. Okay, so I'm looking for the length. It's colored right here. It is the silver one. This is an Oregon chain on this. So I just marked the tooth. It's easier for me to see as I'm going. You can kind of tell once you go around, but we're going to start with that tooth. Yeah, these are right down as low as I care to go. They're down about 2/3 gone, so this is probably the last time I'm going to sharpen this saw. I'll put a new chain on. Oh, that one's really down there. A little bit of smoke you see, that's bar oil or sawdust is burning. But I'm not on it very long at all. isn't too bad actually. Oh, there's a bad one right there. And I'm not pushing very hard, just enough to get in the gullet. So I get it in there. That one's down to just a nub. There's another nub. Must have hit something. The tip's going on this one. And again, wearing cheater glasses, even if you got good vision, is a good idea. Because you can see that top plate, you can see that edge to make sure it's nice and straight, not ragged. You kind of see the edge roll over and you know you got it. All done. Tension is good on this one. Next saw. So as you can see, a little faster than a file. This is my other 572. It's not a G. This one's got a chain that's fairly new. Let's just look here and see what we got. Oh, I might have already sharpened this. Yep, I did. I sharpened this and never ran it the other day. I can tell because there's my red. I got my red markers right here where I put the red marker on it. It's still there. So, and I just checked and looked. I can see inside here. So this one doesn't need to be sharpened. So I must have sharpened it and just forgot. But I thought all three of them needed it. So there you go. That's all I got for today. Little lesson for you. It's easy. The more you sharpen, the better you get at it, the easier it gets. And if you got a throwing chain, just look for those burrs and you can take them off from the bottom on the runners there and fix a bad chain, no problem. So for those of you that are interested in this little vise, I do have them. It says right on there, it's in the wood yard. And a little vise, you just mount it to a board like this, a sled I like to call it. And it works great for holding the saws. Super simple, it's just a little thumb screw here. And you can drop it in and then lock it in. And it works great, just like that. So pretty simple. We do sell them if you're interested. Just email me at chrisinthewoodyard@gmail.com.